You know, with all this weather change that's been going on and the eclipse season that's taking place, it seems as though my crown area, my third eye area, is very much feeling a lot right now, in a sense where I just feel like the things that happened in 2014, all that devastation, and how Manuk, my mom's friend, aka the rapist, 2 o'clock, and it could have been from 2 o'clock to 4 a.m., I can't remember, where the doors were locked in my mom's bedroom. She's taking a shower because her shower was connected to my shower and I could hear it, her showering, and there's music blasted coming from my brother and his wife's room. At that time, they only had Marina, their daughter. She was 3 years old. The second boy that they had, Harantik, he was born way after. I want to share this because this is the ultimate truth. This is part of the reason why I'm here and why I'll never go back. Even though I stayed 4 years additional just for the sake of that little girl, to protect her, to make sure no one's touching her, so no one's sleeping next to her, in a sense that no man is, you know what I mean? And I remember hearing Marina, my niece, screaming. Even though the music is blasting, I can hear her screaming. So as I go to knock on to open the door in my mom's bedroom, because I can hear her showering, why is the little girl screaming? Why is she alone? Why, you know? And I hear Manug. He was like 60 or 70 years old at that time, okay? He's an old man. Divorced 3 times, has 2 daughters of his own. One of them married a Turkish guy. She's half Turkish. And her other daughter wants nothing to do with her because he's an absolute pig. None of the wives want anything to do with him. They all kicked him out. His sister, he came on to his own niece when they all lived together. He did the same thing that he tried on me to her. And she's probably in her 50s now. Everyone tries to cover all these facts up, but these are absolute facts. And I went to go open the door. The door's fucking locked. And so I'm banging on the door because I hear her screaming and I know he's in the door. I knew he was there because his car is outside. And then I'm putting my ear, because I'm banging on the door. No one's opening the door. He's not opening the door. This is a huge red flag. It shows that she is being touched, fondled, or raped. And I'm banging on the door. I'm banging on the door. I'm banging on the door. I'm banging so hard, the entire wall, the doors, it's like a French door where 2 doors are locked. They're connected to each other. I was going to break the door down. Then I start banging on my brother's door. He's not answering the door either. Everyone's doors are locked. It's like 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the morning. I woke up in the middle of my sleep. I put my ear to the door because no one's opening the door. And I hear him mumbling something to her. Do you want me to put it in? Do you want me to put it in? I'm dying, crying, hysterically. I'm banging on the door. I'm banging on everyone's door. I run to the washroom. I'm banging on the wall. I'm normally banging on the wall. After my mom's done on the shower, I immediately ran to it's like freaking 4 o'clock in the morning. I have all those Children's Wish Foundation and everything I was involved with, all that sex trafficking stuff, all that shit, all that police things that was already taking place, you know. I had a police investigation done for me based off the Azeri, the Assyrian, and that Israeli Jewish guy that had left the military, and that Lebanese guy. All of them, they had all that stuff done to me, all the recordings, everything was being investigated for 2 fucking years. I had my own trauma to deal with. On top of that, I had this to deal with, okay? let alone I had to come back. I was hiding out in an Israeli Jewish, well, one of them was Israel. The father was Israeli. The mother was Polish Jewish. I was sleeping at their house to hide out. They welcomed me in. I was living there for free. They were feeding me. They knew what was happening. And I escaped them, and then I had to come back for multiple reasons. By the way, before this all happened, the government had gifted me a house again. But I knew something was up. I knew something was up. At the same time, my sister would beat the shit out of her son. He would have black marks all over his face. They would prevent him from going to school so that they don't get caught and been thrown in jail and prison. All this needs to be put out because now I'm physically safe from my family. You have to understand, my family are horrible. They're evil. They pretend to be clean Christians. I call up all those organizations. No one's available. It's 2 o'clock. It's 3 o'clock. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm crying, leaving voice messages to all of them. How am I supposed to deal with this? How am I supposed to go to sleep? My mom comes out. She opens the door. She walks in my room. I hear her screaming, "Who the fuck was banging on the door? Who the fuck was banging on the door?" So she didn't come to me. I opened the door and I went to her and I said, "What the fuck are you doing in there?" She's just looking at me. I said, "What are you doing?" She comes out half naked. I go, what the fuck is Manuk doing in the bed with my niece? She's walking away. I said, "Why wasn't he opening the door? What is he doing in there? Why is everybody blasting their music? What the hell's going on here?" She's not answering anything. She goes back in her room. She locks the door again. All 3 of them are sleeping together. My 3-year-old niece, my mom, and him. Okay? Here it comes. The next morning, everyone shows up. Here comes that African guy with Children's Association by the government. He comes in. My mom won't open the door. He gets in finally. And she goes, "Who are you? You have no right being in here." He goes, "Why is an old man sleeping?" And at that time, the next morning, he had to go work. So he wasn't there at that moment, and I should have called the police. I definitely should have called the police. But because they called the police on me so many times, and that's what led to all those guys trying to sexually, well, actually, it was one of the partial reasons. They tried to sexually traffic me. Or, it's very highly probable that they were paying each other to do that to me. Do you understand? All those attacks, those black marks all over my body. When my mom found out about that, she goes, "I'm going to go drive all the way to Buffalo, Fatima." There's a place called St. Fatima in Buffalo, New York. This woman, she drove 4 to 6 hours. When she came back, she goes to me, "I went there and I prayed to Mother Mary so that you change." That's her response. So that you change. So that you go to Jesus. The black man, the African man, he walks in and he says to her, "Lady, all of you have to comply. You have to give me answers. If no one complies, all of you are going straight to prison right now." And my mom starts freaking out. She comes in the room. "I'm going to fucking kill you. Wait till people find, I'm going to fucking kill you. This is the beginning of your death." By the way, it's like this 24/7 with my mom behind closed doors, okay? Only in front of people. "We are clean Christians." The man, he's there. "We are clean Christians." He goes, "I'm going to do investigations on all of you." Why the fuck is a man sleeping? He didn't say fuck, obviously. He has to be professional. Why is an old man sleep? This is illegal. "We are clean Christians. We don't understand these things. We are pure-spirited people. To us, it means we all love each other. We all love each other." Then Narine, my brother's wife, because he's using psychology on them in order for them to open up. Mind you, this case was going on for several times. My mom tried to close it. Then it got reopened again because my mother is a manipulator, okay? And her brother has been in prison so many fucking times. She's had to manipulate the law to get him out and paid for it. So she understands how to manipulate. She understands the law, so she knows how to get away with it, okay? She has certain tactics. That's what I'm trying to say. And when he's interviewing Narine, my brother's wife, she goes, "Oh, Talat punched me. She hit me several times." And he goes, did Talat ever touch your daughter?" And she goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, she goes, "Well, I don't, my sister-in-law, me, Talat, she's, she raises my daughter. She takes care of her. She's always with her. And he goes, did he ever touch her? Did she ever touch her? Did she ever punch her?" She goes, "No, no, 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 no. She's very good with my daughter. I've never seen someone be so caring and loving towards a child in my life. That I can't lie. But she did punch me." Okay, so she admitted that, right? Why the fuck did she punch me? Okay, gee, I wonder. I would sit down with that little girl and train her how to read. She would cry, "I don't know how to read in English. I don't know how to read in Armenian." I taught her how to read English and Armenian from morning till night. Okay? And so you think they would talk about these truths to people. They would never admit these things. Till the death of them, they will never admit these things. My family, they lie to themselves first, and then they lie to other people. They believe their own lies. Do you understand? They believe their own lies. And so they all know the truth, okay? Ultimately, in the end, they all know the truth. And so the story goes after that, and I posted it. Go watch False Heroes with the Kali Oracle reading that I did last week. The continuation, or the beginning stages of the story. It's not totally the beginning because I have other videos. But some of the stories in that video, please go watch that. I don't need to get into it from the beginning here. And I remember when the man called me, he said, "Your mother is a tyrant and she wants you to be just like her, a manipulative tyrant. And she's having a very hard time accepting you for who you are because she's a tyrant. She wants to control you. She wants to keep you naive and dumb, and she can't get away with it." And my mom was just talking shit about me to the man the whole time. My daughter wants money. My daughter wants money. And he responds with, "Everybody wants money. Everybody needs money." Meanwhile, she was eating my money. I was working for free. She's eating my money. I'm losing my jobs because of her. I'm getting fucking attacked and raped by groups of people, police investigation. And the best she can say to me is, "When are you getting married? No one's going to marry you. You're a useless piece of shit. You're a whore. God tells me you're going to die and burn in hell. God tells me you're a whore." I remember in 2013, there was a police officer I knew, a female and a male. The girl was Italian, Canadian. The guy was Canadian white. And he said, "You need to get the fuck away from your family for good," in 2013. "If you don't, it's going to get worse." And that's exactly what happened. In 2014, my sister and my mom, they deliberately called the police on me. And she's telling the police officer for me to go have sex with him. She's telling the police officer that. So these behaviors are not only abusive, these are so horrifyingly degrading. You wouldn't even want this for your own enemy, let alone your own family member, your own daughter, your own sisters, your own, sister-in-law. You wouldn't do this shit. No one in their healthy mind would allow this to happen to the youngest girl in the family, and then their own little granddaughter and daughter who is even more younger. There's absolutely no one in their right mind who would allow something like this to happen. And that's why when that little girl gets older, she will have to understand certain elements other than what they're going to lie and teach her. They're going to lie to her. I'm sure they've already lied to her as to why I've had to leave. I'm sure everything has been fed to her as a lie. And so they were already freaking out because they're like, "Oh, Marina is like you. She doesn't want to get married. She has your personality." Narina gets pissed off that you turned out like her. Like, what do you think? Spread your legs. You're spreading your legs. You don't think The child you have a kid with is not going to be the personality of the girl, the sister, your sister-in-law who's raising your own daughter because you're irresponsible. You don't cook, you don't clean, you don't raise your daughter, you don't work at that time you weren't working. You stay at home all day to wax your face, to wax your ass. I don't know what you're doing, hiding in there. I remember my mom broke down the door. She broke down the knob and the lock. I had to go pay to get it all fixed. It's just these things. There's justice that's going to be done. If it hasn't been done already, I don't know. I'm not keeping in touch with anyone connected to my family anymore. And I will not. Because that is not a family. That is not what a family does. I've made so many excuses for these people throughout my life. They talk so much shit about me in front of other people. How, that I'm this, I'm that. Other people have told me everything your freaking family, your mother says about you is a lie. I know you. You're not like that. But I'm just going to leave it with justice. And I just want to say, if this affects your soul, I'm really hoping it does, because there's a lot of things that go on in this world, in this planet, where the least people, the least families that you expect, the least person that you expect has these sinister, evil plot twist type of things happening behind closed doors. And knowledge is key, awareness is key, and also having the courage and the bravery to stop or try to stop these things from happening. And if that's even just reaching out and making a phone call to whomever you feel is right to crack a hidden sinister way or get details or hidden, about something to help someone out that you think or may be going through something like this due to abusive family members or abusive situations that you may feel that they're going through. So I just want to say thank you for watching and have a great night.